It's really gratifying to see the project coming together and actually have the experience of participating in it. When I had done it in 2010, I made sure that I was the first person to be photographed because I did not want to ask other people to do something that I was not comfortable with. I'm the creator of the show, and it's my idea. I came up with it a long time ago, the name and everything, and I'm the producer and the director, and I've brought everybody together. So it's a lot of pressure. It's hard to separate being a producer from being a participant. But I guess, as soon as I take my shirt off, I am a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in spring of 2006. I had dense breasts, and so my doctors felt that I should have a mammogram every 2 years after I turned 40. So I had one at 40, 42, and then 44, and boom, there it was. The biopsy was one of the most scary things. I did not trust the doctor. She was just in this weird space, and she brought out this kit, right, which was all surgically sterilized and all that, and she put it on top of a effing garbage can. I wasn't even convinced that she labeled my name right on that sample. I remember I was sitting in my Newhouse office. It was a Friday afternoon. It was about 4 o'clock in the spring, and I get a phone call from the doctor, and the first thing she says to me, you have cancer. Do you want a lumpectomy or a mastectomy? And I said to her, I have no idea. I need to see the results. Can I come and get them from you? There was an envelope waiting there, and I just picked it up and I walked out. Like Monday or Tuesday, I had another appointment, actually with the radiologist who had first diagnosed me, and he's a great guy, I trust him. And he said to me, we never ever do a second biopsy. And I still remember saying to him, I need to know for sure what's wrong with me because I will not be able to fight the battle without it. And he said, okay. And he did it right there and then. He gave me the results within an hour, very quickly. And I knew I had breast cancer. What I really had was cancer in the milk ducts, and that's called ductal carcinoma in situ. So that means it's in your milk ducts, and it's spreading, but it's not fully formed into a tumor. So I had a lumpectomy, which means a small portion of your breast is cut out, but the doctor was not able to get clear margins. So I had to go back again to get another lumpectomy, and that did not have clear margins. So at that point, my doctor said, why don't we just have you do chemo, and then we'll see what happens. So I had 4 rounds of chemo, and then I had the double mastectomy and reconstruction, because I had told the doctor, I just want both of them off. I don't want to ever stress out about it. I don't want to go and constantly be checking for mammograms and this and that. I have had reconstruction. It's not the most beautiful. I have seen other people who've come in and I've seen their breasts, and they're gorgeous. You can't even tell the difference sometimes. Mine is not like that. I made the choice to have reconstruction after my surgery because one, I didn't want to go flat, and I wanted to feel something there and on my chest. And then also I didn't want to be standing in front of a classroom filled with students and them wondering, what is this professor? Why is she like this? They question me so much anyway because I'm a foreigner, I have a foreign accent, and many people are uncomfortable with that. So I didn't want to complicate that. When I had breast cancer in 2006, Facebook really did not exist. It was just starting, but only people who were connected to universities could have accounts. So it really didn't exist. There was no Twitter. It was the dark ages, literally. There were some websites, there were some books. I was not able to find any support groups. I think things have changed so much for people who are going through it right now. There's so much more information and so much more support. I had spoken to a couple of people. My friend Linda, who's come in, participated in this project. I think I spoke to her around then, maybe, very early on. And we just spoke on the phone. And she was in Florida, and we just never met physically. So when I had my double mastectomy in August 2006, and I still remember I was lying in Kraus, all drugged out and bundled up. This woman walks into my room and says, "Hey, I'm Linda." And then she lifts up her shirt and she says, "Look at me." And I was just like, oh my God. It was, I was so touched. I started crying, and I was touched that here, I'm a stranger to her, but her first instinct was to make me feel better. I have a friend who came in also to participate in the project, and I had known her for years, and I didn't know that she was a breast cancer survivor. When I found out that I had breast cancer, a friend said, "Oh, she's had breast cancer." And so we went to see her, and then she lifted up her shirt, and she just had reconstruction after like 30 years or whatever it was. And she was like, "Here, look at me, feel me." I was like, all right, I'm going to do this too for other people. When I was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2006, I had been married for a long time. However, it was not a marriage that was working out for either of us for many different reasons. Having gone through diagnosis and treatment, it made me realize that I was going to be better off by myself. That the stresses of being married in a very unhappy situation was actually not healthy for me. It was not healthy for my children. There was just too much negativity. What I did was actually a year later, I and my husband got separated, and then later we were divorced. And that was a really very difficult decision to make. My children were very, very young. But I know now, 10 years later, that it's actually the best thing that I could have done for me and my kids. I was given my breast cancer diagnosis, I think it was March 7th. And within a few days, I was told I was bipolar. And I ended up in the emergency room at St. Joe's called CPAP for a night. And then I was in the psych ward of Community General. That for me was the most terrifying thing of it all. And that's what made me realize that I am not in a supportive space, and I need to be in a place where I can look after myself. And I was having a panic attack. I will not deny that. I was semi-manic. I was having episodes because I was very unhappy and etc. So I was very lucky. I had really good doctors. I had an excellent psychiatrist. He did not believe in over-medication. He did put me on a very low dose of lithium, which I had for several years. And and we finally stopped all the medication. I've not had a lapse since 2006. I'm a Hindu. I've been brought up to believe in God. We have a priest, a family priest in Haridwar, which is a very sacred place in India on the river Ganga. And he did a lot of rituals for me. And I always say to him that, or I tell my mom also this, that so when Panditji did the rituals for me, it wasn't only rituals for my body, it was rituals for my soul, right? It was rituals for my mind. And that's what woke up. Growing up and even during all my 20 years of being married, etc., I felt sexy, I would say, but I never was feminine. I didn't have long hair, I didn't wear jewelry, I didn't wear, these kinds of clothes. I was much more of a tomboy, and that's who I was comfortable being. But something really changed for me after the cancer treatment and also my separation and divorce. I became more feminine, and I discovered parts of me that I had sort of forgotten or not fully developed. But what is femininity? I don't think femininity is being delicate or being, wearing pink or having blonde hair or wearing high heels, or, what is it? I think being feminine is an energy. It's being a woman, and I am a woman, very much so. This question is actually in the questionnaire, and it's the genesis of the Look Now project. It was around 2009, 2010, and I still remember I walked into the Newhouse 3 lobby, and there was a big poster there, and it said that Christy Hefner, Hugh Hefner's daughter, and the publisher of Playboy, was coming to Newhouse to speak in the Herg. And because I am that women's rights, all rights activist on campus, random professors and staff people and students all came to me and said, "What are you doing? Are you organizing a protest? What are you going to do?" And I was like, why is it all on me? I'm not going to get involved in this. But what it did do for me was it really got me thinking about what it is to be a woman, what it is to be feminine, what it is to be sexy, and whether Playboy would ever put someone who's had breast cancer surgery and has had implants because of surgery in their centerfold, right? Now, all their Playboys or all their playmates have had silicone implants because their boobs are bigger than their bodies. But so that's how this project really got started, and that's why that question is there. What does it mean when a part of your body that is there really to give life? What is the purpose of breasts? It's to feed children. That is the purpose, and men have sexualized it, and now tell us that if it's mutilated because we've had cancer in it, we're not female enough. And so there is so much pressure now to have reconstruction, to have the nipples tattooed, to not go flat, to do this, to do that. I'm victim of the same thing. I had reconstruction also. I think we are very lucky and very fortunate to live in a country and in a society that does have breast cancer treatment. And if it's caught early enough, you can survive for many, many years. And even if it's caught late, there is a lot of medical advances being made each and every day. So I would really say for everyone, please, please, please do your self-exams every month, have your breasts checked. Why live in denial? Because it's in the environment. It's a disease which is a lot of, some of it is genetic and whatever else, but it's also environmental. 1 in 8 women get it right now, and maybe more the statistics could change. So let's face it, and let's face it together. The Look Now project, is a multifold project. So my first goal for it is to, it's like an oral history project, to document people who've gone through breast cancer, to capture their stories and to give voice to their stories. 2 is to put a face on breast cancer, to showcase what breast cancer looks like. Because even though there is so much hoo-ha about, save your tatas or, whatever else people say, but it's something actually more serious than that. And so to show what the ravages of breast cancer can look like, and to juxtapose somebody's public persona with their clothes on with their private battle scars. When somebody's diagnosed with breast cancer, the first question is, how am I going to survive? What's my treatment, etc.? The second question is, what am I going to look like? what are my options, and I want to provide people with some vibrant stories and some vibrant images of people who are willing to share that.